so hard to remember. Like you can see me, like I'm referring here. Like it's basically all these commands have like slashes in the beginning, and like these letters mean something. Slash L means like listing the DB. Slash DT means like display table, so it's like listing out the tables that you created. And then you have like all the other commands. Slash question mark would be the most useful. It would like list out all the other commands, basically. And what else? This is also important, like slash connection info. So basically, when you use a command in which the result is really long, if you see this, like the result is really long, it's not ending. If I want to like exit this, I just type Q and I can exit it. Or else, if I like keep using my arrow key, the down arrow key, it'll keep going on, and I wouldn't be able to come out of the thing. So just type Q and you would come out of it. So like whenever the result is really long, use that. And the other thing which is important is slash connection info. So that tells you like you're connected to this particular DB. The user is Apurva Mishra, and the socket is STEM. The port that you're connected by is 5432. So basically this DB, it's listening at the port 5432 for all your commands. That's all it means. So generally these databases, they work with the port 5432. And I'm going to show it to you like why it's important to know and why they use ports. But before, okay, let me show that to you. So this is like one way of like, this is just an interface for you to like communicate with the DB. Another way you can communicate with this DB is something called PG admin that I wanted to show it to you. It's a graphical user interface of the same thing that you saw here. In this, like you would have to remember these commands and like know when to use which command. But the graphical user interface, what you would do is you're going to connect to whichever like database you want to connect to. Do a right click. You're going to make a connection. So you are going to register a server. And in here, you're going to give a name to the connection. And then you're going to like give the host address. This is where the port is important. It's always like, because it's always 5432 by default, so it's already filled in. Then you're going to give in your like username, password. So when you go to a new company and they are like, okay, connect to a DB, they're going to give you a connection string. They're going to tell you which port, your username, password, and this is how you're going to set the connection. So once you set the connection, this is like one other startup that I'm working with. It would look like this. And then you can like go inside the databases, you can go inside Postgres, and then you have like different schemas. These are like, this is the public schema, and then you can go inside tables here, or you can, in their case, I think they have stuff inside. I think the other one, the EBDB is there. Stuff. Yeah, so this is like, these are all the tables that they have inside their DB. So what I wanted to show you both these things. So like there are like two ways you can connect. You can use your own terminal, write commands directly and connect to the DB, look at the tables, like run your SQL commands in there. The other way you can connect is this graphical user interface. PG admin, there are so many of these out there. PG admin is what I generally use. And like when you work with a company, what they're going to give you is they're going to give you the connection string. They're going to tell you which port. And obviously, they need to authenticate you, right? They're not going to give access to anyone. So they would give you a username and password. And this is how you're going to authenticate yourself. And then after that, like you can see whichever table, and then you can, like I can see the first 100 rows of this table, and then like I can run my queries here.
So for connecting to like Postgres locally, it's probably just a local host, right?
Yeah, it's just a local host.
Okay. So maybe just show. Can we just see that?
So it would be just like you coming. So in my case, you see the startup DB connection, but you wouldn't have this if you're going to use PG admin. So what you're going to do is you're going to come here, you're going to right click, and then you're going to register a server. And then you're going to like, this name is like anything, whatever for your reference. And then you're going to give the local address. And then you're going to give Postgres is, by default, Jeff, it's just Postgres, right? The username.
Yeah, or it could be. I think by default it's just Postgres, or maybe sometimes it might put like your system name. I'm not sure.
So in my case, it was Apurva Mishra. So it would be useful to like check the connection info right here, because it did tell me my user is Apurva Mishra.
Yeah.
And the port is always the same, and like you can connect with it. The other thing
Wait,
that
just go back
oh,
to the PG admin. So where it says host name address, that's where you'd probably put localhost, just
oh,
LOCALHOST, right? I think, and you could probably Google it. Otherwise, yeah. So that's like looking good. Cool.
so this is, let's see if it connects to. So
Oh,
databases, I have,
perfect.
yeah, we have it like city Postgres test, right?
Yeah.
So I find it easier to do it this way. Jeff wanted it hard for you guys, so he was using the terminal. But like there are like multiple ways you can like connect to your DB, whichever is easier for you. And like you can run the commands right here. It's and you can like this is like a scratch pad. Like this is the result I got. What command I should run next? Like you can type it out here, like paste it. And you can look at the query history. That's the best part. I use this quite often. Like what did I run last time? I don't have to like keep typing the command. Does it make sense? What else?
Maybe did you show us like /d with like a table? Maybe you did. Just if you want to see like details about a specific. Oh, it's a D. D is in a. So, yeah. So that's just so all the tables, and then if you do, what's the name of the table? I can't see it at the bottom.
It's cars.
Okay, so then if you do for that same /d space cars. Yeah. Then you can kind of see like the schema. Ideally,
Oh no, it's not
it's not
opening
doing
up.
it.
Let me make it.
Oh, /D. D as in dog.
Oh, sorry. Oh, display. Just the
Yeah,
display.
exactly. Display
Yeah, that makes
cars.
sense. Display
Yeah,
table.
cool.
So yeah, there was only one column in this. It was the type text. So you see the column name and you see the type.
Oh, so Chris had a question. If you can see that. He's just asking the difference between Postgres and SQLite.
So these are like different databases, and if you see, you can tell me like if you MySQL is also one other database that I've used very frequently. So the thing that you find common between all these databases is SQL. It's called the structured query language. And what is SQL is basically these databases. They have an engine behind it, and it's called I'm forgetting the name. So basically, it's actually a language, right? Select star from. You're writing something in a language. It's like Python, but it's not exactly like Python because in these databases, what's common is you come and you tell what you exactly want, and it does that. It does the processing for you and gives you the results. So you select star from where whatever. So it does like it finds you like uses the where clause, looks for the condition, gives you the result. While in Python, you would write your own for loop, run through the table, and like find the result for your where clause. So this is what's common between all these DBs is it's using a structured query language. They're used to store a lot of data, and you use a structured query language to access that data. That's all they provide to you. And there's this engine which does this query optimization. They're like it's very advanced, like how it takes your query, it like does the processing on the data and gives you the result. While in Python, you would like do the processing. You will write your own for loop. You will write your own if condition. While when you want the result back.
Yeah, but with with the difference between this and SQLite, like SQLite is in production level. Like no one, you're never going to use that, right? Like in production, basically. But Postgres is production level database. In fact, like a lot of other databases are built, like for instance, like if you've heard of Redshift is built on top of Postgres. It's an open source project, Postgres. So because of that, other like proprietary databases have built on top of it, but it's also production level. So it may be like the most popular like transactional, meaning like type of database that backs a website. I'd be surprised if it isn't. So it's just extremely popular and it's performant, meaning it's fast. It can handle a lot of data.
And what Jeff just said, transactional. It's transactional because like for banking you would save like your transactions, right? You have like a lot of things getting saved, like every transaction getting saved. Like Uber must use this database Like every time you book a ride, it's saving this. So it's very good at like saving stuff quickly, and it's very reliable when you're trying to pull stuff out. There's one more question. Will we use that often as data? Yes, you would use that often as data engineers. And it has stored procedures. There are a lot of things you can look into. If you're going to use pgadmin, like there are like a bunch of options you can look through. Processes.
Postgres can do a ton. Like if you want to look at even like you can look at plugins for Postgres. For like for instance, like it can be good at even like text-based searching, like which a lot of databases aren't quite good at. You can do vector, use like PG Vector for like AI type, like basically backing like almost like a search engine type database. It's not like so it can do it. It has a lot of functionality, and like people are building onto it with like these different plugins as well. I think Narapati had a question.
Yeah, would you say the SQL engines are analogous to, let's say, interpreters for Python? Is it like, it's like the way how they work?
It's sort of. Did you say compiler?
Because the database engine is like, it handle of the like query optimizing and all the stuff. It's more like a server, and then the application that we type the SQL code in is like more like a client, kind of like that's like how it works.
Yeah. You are a client who is using the server to get your data out. Yes, you can see that.
Okay.
I think that would be all. I'm gonna deploy all the other files.